Hello, parents, teachers, grandparents, and caretakers. Thank you so much for coming back again and again. Last week, I had a very interesting question, and this question is almost the opposite to that question. Now, meanwhile, if you want to send your questions, please send your questions to askgeorgeuncle@gmail.com. Askgeorgeuncle@gmail.com. Now, it's a very interesting question that we have. So, my child is 6 years old, and he does not want to listen to us as parents. Every time we try to correct him, it's a boy, the grandparents come to rescue and scold us. And our child is taking advantage of the situation, and he tries to do whatever he wants to do. We don't know what to do, and my parents are also hidingly giving him phones and games and sweets, some of the sweets that we don't want our son to eat. How do we handle this kind of a situation? That's why I said, if you see my previous episode, the previous episode was almost the opposite, where the grandmother was complaining and all of that, and here the grandparents are actually spoiling the child and things like that. Now, let me just share this one very important principle. Again, not to nullify, not to belittle anyone, no. But grandparents, please listen to this. You have raised your children, and let your children raise their children. Let them raise the way they want to. I'm saying that with a humble heart. I'm saying that with a heart that is for the children. The reason is this: you have raised the children, right? You have raised them up. And maybe you're saying, yeah, we have raised them up really well. Perfect, wonderful. But to just say that there are no perfect parents, but that's on the side by. But today, your children, or your son or your daughter, they're raising their children, and let them make their own mistakes and learn from their own mistakes, and let them have that connection happen, and let them raise their children. This is an issue very unique to an Indian context, where the grandparents come and put their head into all of these things and try to protect and things like that. That's not going to help. That is not going to help. So as grandparents, I think you just need to love. And again, if you're a grandparent, if their parents have said no phones and things like that, you don't give the phones. Be very careful about it. If the parents are, not given certain sweets and things like that, if this little boy is coming and asking for sweets and things like that, give that, recognize that authority and just say, go ask your dad. If your dad tells me, I will give you. You're a sweet boy. Go ask your mom. If your mom tells me, I will give you. Put that authority there. As grandparents, sometimes it's very difficult, but acknowledge that authority in a place of what it is. Sometimes it's very difficult, yes, but that's something that as grandparents you need to do. I don't want to do another whole episode on how to be grandparents and things like that, but I'll say this much. As grandparents, I think your main goal is to love the child. Just love the child and love him not just compassionately, but love him competently. Loving him competently is going to be very, very important. Why? Because you know how to love. There are boundaries which the parents have put in, and you also follow those boundaries for the child. There are certain non-negotiables, foundations that the parents have put, and we also follow those non-negotiables. It's very important. I'll tell you something, If you as grandparents say, no, I'm not going to allow my granddaughter, you're only going to spoil your granddaughter. You're going to spoil your grandson. You are going to spoil your grandson. And it's going to become a place where I've seen a lot of scenarios where in an Indian context where things are happening like this now because of situations like this, the parents have decided to say, we are going as a nuclear family. We don't want to be in joint family. They leave the grandparents and they just take the child and they just go on, I really pray that will not happen in this scenario, But going forward, if you're not stepping back and allowing the parents to take the reins, that might happen. You want to be a little careful about it. Yes, again, in an Indian context, it's a very difficult context, it's a very difficult scenario, but let's be sensitive. You have raised your children, let your children raise their children. They will make their own mistakes. Yes, that's fine. Let them learn from their own mistakes. There are no perfect parents. I hope you understand that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. May God bless you. Shoot your questions to askgeorgeuncle@gmail.com.